Buenos Dias Gunners Collective. Back at it, you already know. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Like a motherfucker. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Like a motherfucking smack addict. Bye-ya. 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 Alright, I can't sing, but in a direct fashion, Menudo Styles, we're going to get directly into the spill of the day. As you can tell by looking at that thumbnail, something different. La Sombra Negra, right? Sombra Negra, meaning black shadow or death squad. Okay, and for those of you that don't know, I'm about to put it out there right now exactly who this organization is, what's this group's intentions, why they do what they does, and they does what they do, right? Indubitably, and in that fashion. What I will say is this is a very dangerous, very dangerous and well-organized organization. Group of characters that are not playing whatsoever, right? And for those of you vatos that are in gangs or doing criminal activity in the country of El Salvador, Honduras, Guatemala, things of that nature, sounds good, watch out. Bang, bang. These vatos are not playing. So this is a group, a very clandestine group. Nobody actually knows who these individuals are. And they formed in 1989, or that's about the year that people started to notice the writing on the walls. And what they are is a vigilante group that were formed out of the oppression of the people, okay? When you got gang members, you got organizations on the streets that are terrorizing your neighborhood, your cities, your countries, you start to feel some type of way. You start to feel like the government or the officials, the police, whoever it may be, can't do their job. There's just not enough guns to combat these characters, man. These vatos out there wiggling. Okay, so this group felt that for no other reason they should come together and form some type of organization, a very clandestine group. Not a lot of people have heard about. That's why they call themselves Sombra Negra, the Black Shadow. Okay, they move in the shadows. This group, according to intelligence, is comprised of mostly police officers and military, ex-military that have come together for the self-preservation and the protection of the people of El Salvador from gangs, Mara gangs, you know, like MS-13, Mara 18, so on and so forth. And any people out there committing crimes against women, children, and people. Okay, now there's a lot that's going on right now in El Salvador, and we're going to get to that right now. But in a Menudo style, I'm telling you right now, these motherfuckers right here, Sombra Negra, respects vatos because they are different. Okay, so the writing was on the walls in 1989. This is about the year that this first started to be noticed. And from that year to, I'd say, 1995, they have claimed 17 bodies of known criminals or MS-13 and Mara 18 members. Okay, now that doesn't sound like a lot. 17, that's it? I could do that shit fucking in Sakura, right? They did that just over the weekend. But you have to understand the type of tactics that they use to kill these individuals, okay? They don't just maim them. They don't just warn them. There is none of that, okay? Sombra Negra eradicates these individuals from the face and the planet, the wrong called Earth, okay? So what happens is this. They've been known to apprehend individuals, just show up like the shadow in the middle of the night, find out where gang members are, bust in, and what they use is called torture tactics. So they put their hands behind their backs, secure them by their thumbs, and proceed to do a lot of bad things to them. Everything from sexual assault all the way to, you know, picking the nose hairs out of their shit. These guys don't play. Okay, now we know MS-13, we know Mara 18, we know all these different barrios and gangs that comprise Central America are different, okay? They're with the machete business, they're with a different program, they are deep, they're like cucarachas, they're piled on top of each other, and they're just willing, ready, and able to harass anyone to come up on that bolsita, right? Saca la bolsita, they're trying to get their issue, and they're doing it in a street gang fashion. Now, of course, they have accumulated numbers throughout El Salvador, and the United States, Los Angeles area being a predominant area for MS. And they have established themselves as a major threat to the safety and security of not only the West Coast, but the whole United States. They're deeper on the East, vato in the Midwest. These vatos are there, right? They're established. Of course, El Salvador is the hub. That's central. That's where the majority of the influence of the gang is cracking. Now, there's been a lot going on lately in the country of El Salvador. What you have, right, is them at a civil war with the government. Okay, to as I spoke on it the other day in a live where the president of El Salvador is frustrated and fed up. He said, Charlie Holmes, trip out. This is what's going to happen. Simon Gunner, the wind's blowing. This is what's going to happen. If the MS-13 members continue to harass and kill our citizens, what will happen is the ones that are incarcerated, that are already in these prisons, these overpopulated prisons, they will just stop feeding them. I know it sounds inhumanitarian. It sounds like he couldn't get away with this, but he's at the point of no return, man. It's make or break time. He is just frustrated. He needs to protect his people by any means necessary, and he has decided that if for no other reason, he will just stop feeding these vatos. Now, of course, they say, well, hold up. Wait a minute. You ain't going to put no papas in it, right? So what does that mean? Well, I'm going to tell you what that means. That means these vatos from MS maybe need to rethink and recalculate the situation and what they got going on. Now, you have to understand a lot of these gang members and these well-organized leaders are definitely into rocking the boat. They're definitely into testing the abilities of the government and their government. They ain't going to do that shit in the United States. You come over here, sabes que these vatos will not feed you. If they say no papas, fucking no papas, right? Straight up. Of course, man, it never went down like that. So far, I haven't seen shit happen like that. But different countries, different strokes for different folks. So what they got going on in there, over there with their battle of their own government, and they're at some type of civil war between a gang, a group organization, and the administration being the government. So that's something unprecedented. It's happened before, guerrilla warfare, but at the same time, this is different. This is basically a street gang challenging the authority of their own government, and they are going to war. It's been happening. This ain't nothing new to this. These motherfuckers been true to this, right? Straight up. But what I will tell you is this, and this is a fact. This is a known fact. Sombra Negra is not part of the government. These vatos are not part of any type of organization but their own, and they move as such. They have been known, and being a death squad and a vigilante group, they have been known to disappear in the shadows for several years, then reemerge when they feel that it's necessary. Now, in 2014, in 2014, they decided that for no other reason, they should pop back on the scene. People started to see spray painting Sombra Negra, the death squad, and MS-13 and 18th Street members were very shook up. Now, you got to understand, man, knowing vatos from MS-13, I've known vatos from there, from that barrio, very different, right? They carry themselves different from Mexicanos or traditional Chicano gangs, but are still with the activities of the business. So what I've noticed with the vatos is they don't fear too much. You know, they're different. They're not fearing the average gang, the average man. So they hit a yarda, it is what it was, right? Straight up, let's get it. You know what I mean? Pico de gallo style. They're with the business, with the activities. But there is one group they fear, and that's Sombra Negra. And I'm going to tell you why. Because, see, people fear the unknown. But that's a fucking fact. That's the fact of life. If you fear the unknown, I'm mad at you. I do myself. You know, if I don't know what's going to happen and I can't get a grasp and a grip on what's going on around me, so I was scared, fuck it, I don't fear it. But I'm like, spook. But, you know what I mean? Same shit. Anyways, in a menudo style, they fear the unknown. And this group, Sombra Negra, is a very vicious and vile group themselves. Now, they're doing what they have to justify their actions for the people of Central America, right? And they have moved into, what is that fucking, Guatemala. They moved into Honduras. There have been several sightings of Sombra Negra. Now, of course, the way they carry themselves are paramilitary. They're in military outfits, masked up, so even before COVID. They're masked up, black mask. So they have that presence of, you know, you've watched, so are we getting raided? Charlie, homie, your head's getting braided. That's it, straight up. They're not playing. And like I said, they use a lot of unusual torture tactics to maintain that notoriety, but also to inflict as much punishment and pain as to deter these gang members from doing what they're doing out there in the fucking calles of El Salvador. I want to say Guadalajara all day for some reason, but that's a whole different gang and a whole different shit, right? I like my head right here. Anyways, out there in El Salvador, they are fearing Sombra Negra. Yes, man, you can sit here and you can say, Charlie, we don't fear no one. This is MS and do all that shit. I'm telling you right now, with respect, homie, vatos don't want that static with motherfucking Sombra Negra. They're different. They come out the cuts out of nowhere, homie, and off with your head, right? Their torture tactics, they do something which is called a bullet to the head. They give you that executional style killing. They make it a fact and make it well known and distribute your body throughout you know, the community and let everybody know, sabes que, that they did it. We did it. That's what they say. So I remember actually being locked up in a county jail with the vato from MS-13, or he might not even been from Ara Salvatrucha, but he might have been just from the calles of fucking El Salvador, and they were talking about deporting him. He was going to get extradited back to his country because he had came over illegally. They found out, he did his time, and beep, beep, boop, boop, boop. They brought him back to the county jail where they were going to process him, take him to a hub where he could be extradited back to his country. And I remember the vato was scared to death. And I remember chopping it up with him through some bars. And I'm like, hey, watch out. What happened, bro? You know what I mean? And he was like, hey, bro, I got certain tattoos on my body that if I go back automatically off the plane, I'll be whacked. I'll be hit. I said, who? The government? He said, Charlie, Sombra, Negra. That was the first time I ever heard that. And I didn't know what he meant. At that time, I was like, the Valenciano. So that's game. Fuck them, I'll put those, right? You know what I mean? But at the same time, now as I know, oh yeah, if you don't know, you know. So this is the one group, like I said, a very clandestine organization of vigilantes that was founded, you know, in the early 90s, late 80s to combat crime. Now, we've had several groups in the United States, in California, you know, I wouldn't say necessarily vigilante groups, but we've had groups out there like the Guardian Angels, the Brown Berets, people that actually fought for the Chicano movement, the Brown movement, and the human rights movement. People that have actually fought for us, you know. Do they get enough credit? Do the Brown Berets, the Guardian Angels, people of that nature get enough credit? I believe, Charlie, people that are unknowing about these individuals that were founded in the 70s, 80s, 90s, and doing their thing for the gente, man, pushing and rocking that good rhyme and that good word for the people. But, of course, they're not going to get their due diligence and their due justice because at the end of the day, people really don't know about them because they move in the shadows. They do what they do and they don't ask for any type of loyalty, respect, gratitude. All they ask is for the humans and the people, man, to get along and do their thing, man, and for justice for all and for social status of equality for all. So, okay, bang, bang. Already free cane. I'm with that program, right? Definitely with that program. But can I sit here and say that I'm with a group that tortures, maims, kills, and books gang members just because they're gang members? I could say Charlie. And this is the reason behind it. I know in El Salvador, a lot of the people feel oppressed. And I'm talking about the productive members of society, the citizens that don't bother no one. Okay? And I know a lot of these gang members, man, tend to prey on the weak, tend to prey on women and children in El Salvador. That's a fact. You can see here, Charlie, gun, they prey more in Mexico and California. Fuck no, right? No way. No how, man. For the most part, our gangs in California and throughout the United States are very structured and organized, man. The political makeup is to leave children and women alone. That's a fact. You go into prison, man, and you did something weird to a kid, you will get removed. You will get whack-a-lackers. That's the word of the day, whack-a-lackers. You will get whacked. You will get fucking stretched out and helicoptered out. Charlie, homie, this ain't no Honduran war, homie. You will be helicoptered out right there in Folsom. Period. Plain and simple. It's just the way it is. That's a fact. But it's different in El Salvador. Women and children are preyed upon. They are looked at as just possessions or pieces of the puzzle, and they are to be utilized as that. Just a fact. That's the way it is. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say all vatos get down like that out there in El Salvador. Charlie, man. No, far from it. But the killings that happen every day with the citizens, you know, a lot of them involve women and children. So I'm telling you, that won't go down in South Central, Fresno, Merced, Modesto, San Jorge, Salas. Period, man. You fuck with our peoples, Sasuke, hey, we gonna fuck with you back. And in that fashion. So a group like Sombra Negra has to spring from the ashes to eradicate those that oppose the familias of regular citizens. Now, just like the president said, right? Just like the president said over there, he's going to stop feeding vatos. It's come to that point. The gang problem has manifested to that point so bad in El Salvador that vigilante groups, governments, officials, police, everybody is having to combat these groups. Now, you say to yourself right now, and I know what you're saying, right? Well, damn gun, don't hate on them because they're handling their business. Are they? Really, are they? You know, I have no problem with MS-13 whatsoever. Respects to the vatos, how they've overcame a lot in their lives as well. And I know there's a lot of people that are just susceptible to being involved in the gang because they want that familia. They have no familia. They want that comfort, that embracement, that canalismo. But at the same time, there's no room in this world to oppress innocent people. Citizens should be off the table. Women and children, definitely. There shouldn't even be fucking no question with that. A fucking sane mind and a regular vato knows that right off the top. But, you know, vatos are different. You put a machete in their hand and they feel that anybody can get it, right? Different. Anyways, this group, Sombra and Negra, had them shook up. Throughout the 90s, Vatos from MS, Mara 18, any other group that they got going on out there in Central America, didn't want that funk, didn't want that status, man. They were actually asking government officials to have their tattoos removed before, sending them back to their country, because they knew they were getting snatched up right off the bus, right off the plane, right off the fruit stand. They were getting snatched, right? And being made examples of. Okay, now when a group that's not very deep, a paramilitary group that's very clandestine, that's really not that deep, instills that type of paranoia and that type of fear into an organization that has over 50,000 members, you say to yourself, well, God dang, they hold power. Well, Simon, like I said, the fear of the unknown. You never know when they're going to pop up out the bushes and snatch your earlobe off. You know what I mean? Tyson style. That's because they might bite you. Holyfield, like, fuck that. Hey, that puto bit me. You never know. And they've been known, like I said, to sexually assault their victims, torture, maim, and murder, right? Ultimately. You know, when you're like, he ain't gonna get my cachets, man, he's gonna clap. There ain't no clap action happening here. You know, oh, they're gonna clap you? Arby's. And then they're gonna clap you. You know, that's how they get down. Like I said, a very different group. You gotta understand, different countries wiggle different ways. You know, I would think in California, if they ever sprung up over here, well, I don't think Vatos are going to be clapping cheeks. But, you know, I could be wrong. Anyways, with that being said, man, I hope that you move fast with a purpose. I just wanted to give you guys some type of, bring some type of awareness to this group, this organization that, like I said, is in the shadows that not a lot of people know about. Anyways, with that being said, I hope that you move fast with a purpose. I hope that you get everything that you want coming to you. Remember, at the end of the day, it's all about going out there and establishing and doing what you have to do for your familia. If you see a woman, if you see children, do you think in your fucking mentality to harm them or hurt them? Charlie, homes, that's not the way we get down. How them vatos are getting down over there? Man, that fucking boggles the mentality, man. And am I mad because they're getting hit because of that? Nah, Charlie, I'm a firm believer that if you're out there oppressing women and children, then motherfucker, you got what you got coming. Period. Do I endorse it? Do I say go get violent? Charlie, of course. I hope that everybody could just get along, and at the end of the day, the unity of the raza is real. Black and brown united as well, and all people, because we all deserve that righteous due. But though, in this fashion, if you're doing things to women in church, you know what I mean? Cut their knuckles off. Bang, bang. You know what I mean? In that fashion. Anyways, hey, I hope that you move fast. Like I said, with a purpose. Go out there and get it for your family today. If you like this spiel, please hit that like, thumbs up, like and subscribe. That little bell that's right there, you can tap that one time for your mind, and I'll pop up like this. You know, I'm out the bushes, but with good intentions. I'm not a weirdo. If not, you can hit that thumbs down. Heavy as the head that wears the crown. That's fine, too. We're going to continue to do what we do right here on Gunners Collective. Pop over there to Gunners Profiles. Like and subscribe to that channel, too, as it is my other channel. The brand is growing, man. It's just showing. You feel me? Bang, bang. I don't want no problems with the Shadow Panthers. Is that what they're called? Charlie, the Black Shadow. Bang, bang.